This Sun-Gazette video coverage is proudly sponsored by Woodlands Bank.
A lot of times in schools, we love to promote the young girls, young women and girls like you. That's my role now. I love to do that because so many of the young girls don't realize how capable they are. And I just need a little boost or a little encouragement.
What's the best part of coming out to an event like this and meeting people and speaking with people?
I like people and I like speaking to people, but I like reaching women and young girls. I think that's so important because look at what the women are doing today. It's fantastic. We're astronauts. We're just imagine what we're doing. In my day, we'd never even mentioned or never even considered a woman. You know, it was a man's world when I was growing up. They favored boys naturally because they could work the farm or what have you. But now I just like people and I like being out to promote. But are you familiar with Barbara? Do you know Barbara?
I just met her, yeah.
Well, we travel a lot together. We go all over together.
Aww.
And we've been on the Queen Mary together. We've done things like that. Really nice programs. Women didn't have any rights yet. Even when we went to work at Boeing, we were every bit as good riveters as the men, yet the men got paid more. I mean, so it wasn't fair, but we didn't fight it at that time. Since then, I've done a lot of work on that, fighting and trying to get different congressmen or women, mostly women, to promote or help work with that. We were probably 90% there, but we're still not 100% with equal pay. You know what happened when the war was over? I'll put it this way. The men came home to parades and flying flags. Rosie the Riveter came home with a pink slip. There was no place or no acknowledgement. They didn't mention us. They didn't give us credit for anything. And I thought that was so unfair. Well, in the meantime, now my children are being raised. It was right after the war. And so I didn't fight it then, but when I started to go back to work, I've been fighting this for about 40 or 50 years to get the women to equal pay and to get the young girls and women like you the right to do what you want to do. It's opening doors, and that's so important. Once the doors open, it's up to you what you're capable of. But that's so important to me.
Thank you.
And if you see that picture up there, I can help build that plane. My name's on it, my rivets are in it.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And I'm in the picture.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Have you ever flown in one of the B-17s you helped build?
Yes, not one that I helped build, but I've flown in one. Only took me 70 years to get a ride. It was nice because when the pilot that flew the plane, we'd become friends, and we were on Facebook together. And he lives down south somewhere, but every once in a while I see him, and it's amazing I call him my pilot. But there was another thing that I could go on forever talking about these airplanes. If you see the picture here, I'm in that picture. Can you find me? And I put a lot of rivets in that wing of that plane. But no, just so many things that Barbara talked about the medal there, showed them.
Well, you want to tell them a little bit more about it?
No, that's the front page. That's the front of the medal. We've got all of the women that worked, it was Spanish, American, whatever it took.
And Mae will have this afterwards. When you come up for the meet and greet with her, you can see it up close and personal.
Well, and in the back, I designed most of that. And it was so interesting because I was at the Mint in Philadelphia. They invited me at the Mint. I met all the artists, and it's amazing what it takes to make a medal like this. They start with a sculpture, and I had no idea about that. But they wouldn't show me the medal because you couldn't see it till it was presented to us in Washington that day. But I see they showed me the one the previous year and how they made it. So I got to see now. Then I was invited back, I said, to do the first strike on the greatest generation. And now Washington's talking about putting out a coin too. And our congressman kind of hinted that I'd get to do the first strike on that one too. These are the experiences that you get. You never know what it's going to lead to when you start something that you think you'd like to do. You just don't know.
We're going to take one more question, Mae, and then we'll go back so everyone can meet you and chat personally if you'd like.
Okay.
Is there one more question?
How old were you when you left to go work on the planes, and how long did you work?
How long were you when you left to go work on the planes, and how long were you there?
I started right out of school in May of 1943 is when we started, and I worked through the war. Just before the war was over, I married in 1945, and my husband was transferred, and we were transferred to not Air Force, he was transferred to Air Force Base, but I was transferred to, I went to work for the Army Engineers. And at the Army Engineers compound, they had a prisoner of war, Italian prisoner of war on their compound. And they'd come in and work with us. And that was one of the things I remember from World War II, how interesting that was, working with prisoners of war. You know, they were family men just like us. They wanted that war to be over so that they could go home to their families the same as we were. And that's always left a mark on my life. I wished I would have kept in touch with some of them to find out when they released and when they went home. Some were able to marry and stay here. And they let them go out to lunch or to dinners with families at the time. I don't know how they did that. I'm not sure how they did that. But, you know, everything at that time, we were, now the Army Engineers are doing work overseas now. They're reconstructing all the bridges and things that we found out. So this is what we were doing. We were packaging and sending material overseas. And these prisoners used to come in and lift the heavy crates and things that was too heavy. We probably could have done it, but that was their job, and we thought it was nice. And I think they paid them 80 cents a day for like cigarettes or shaving cream or something like that. That was one of the moments I wished I had kept in contact with. There's so many different experiences during the war.
So thank you again.